Welcome back to the channel. It's From the Park One. We showcase amateur athletes and amateur news every day. If you're a player, coach, would like an interview, DM me for a collaboration. And if you're loving the content, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about some SEC softball games that happened on yesterday. The first matchup we're going to talk about is LSU versus Auburn. And LSU comes in this matchup 36 wins and 16 losses, while Auburn comes in this matchup with 25 wins and 26 losses. And LSU won in blowout fashion as they scored 25 runs off for 24 hits and no errors, while Auburn scored 0 runs, 3 hits, and 4 errors. And the winning pitcher is Jaden Havener, who has a record of 12 and 7, pitched 5 innings, had no errors and 5 strikeouts. And center fielder Jayla Lassiter went for 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. The next matchup we're going to talk about is Oklahoma versus Texas A&M. And Oklahoma comes in this matchup with a record of 48 and 7, and Texas A&M comes in this record with a record of 36 and 16, and Oklahoma dominated, scoring 6 runs off of 10 hits, while Texas A&M scored 4 runs off of 5 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher is Sidney Berzine, who has a record of 6 and 2, pitched 5 innings, had no errors and 5 strikeouts, and Ella Parker went for 2 for 4 with 1 RBI and 1 home run. The next matchup we got is Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. And Mississippi State comes in with a record of 37 and 17, while Ole Miss comes with a record of 32 and 23. And Ole Miss provides the upset. Ole Miss scored 3 runs off of 5 hits, while Mississippi State scored no runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. The winning pitcher is Emily Boyer, who has a record of 11 and 12, pitched 7 innings, had no errors and 3 strikeouts, and Casey Regner went for 2 for 3 from the field. The next matchup we got is South Carolina versus Alabama. And South Carolina comes in with a record of 30 and 25, and Alabama with a record of 47 and 6. And Alabama edged out with a close victory as Alabama scored 4 runs off of 5 hits, 1 error, and South Carolina scored 3 runs for 4 hits and 1 error. The winning pitcher is Joycelyn Brisky, who has a record of 20 and 2, pitched 7 innings, had 2 errors and 9 strikeouts, and Alexis Pueblo went for 2 for 3 with 1 RBI. The next matchup we got is Florida versus Georgia. And Florida comes in this matchup with a record of 47 and 9, and Georgia have a record of 36 and 17. And Georgia won the upset victory, scoring 9 runs off of 7 hits, 1 error, and Florida scored 1 run, 3 hits, and 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Randy Rolling, who has a record of 16 and 9, pitched 5 innings, had 1 error and 5 strikeouts, and right fielder Sarah Gordon went 2 for 3 from the field. The next matchup we got is Arkansas versus Texas. And Arkansas comes in this matchup with a record of 41 and 10, and Texas has a record of 39 and 10. And Texas won the upset victory, scoring 4 runs off of 7 hits, while Arkansas scored 1 run, 4 hits, and 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Kavane Teagan, who has a record of 20 and 4, pitched 7 innings, committed 1 error, and had 10 strikeouts. And center fielder Caden Henry went 2 for 4 from the field. The next matchup we got is Tennessee versus Missouri. And Tennessee comes in this matchup with a record of 42 and 9, and Missouri has a record of 28 and 28. Missouri came out with the victory, the upset victory, matter of fact, as Missouri scored 4 runs off for 8 hits, no errors, while Tennessee scored 3 runs off of 4 hits and 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Abby Card, who has a record of 64, pitched 1.1 innings, no errors and 2 strikeouts. And she also went 2 for 4 with 1 RBI. Last game on the docket was Oklahoma versus Texas A&M. And Oklahoma comes in this matchup with a record of 47-7, and Texas A&M with a record of 36-13. The winning pitcher is Audrey Lowry, who has a record of 21-2, pitched 2.2 innings, no errors and 2 strikeouts, and center fielder Kai Miner went for 1 for 3 with 1 RBI. For all your amateur news and your softball content, subscribe to Formula Park 1 on YouTube. Thank you for your support.